Minato never died? In today's video, I'll be looking at 3 things, which are as follows: how Minato living would have affected the Naruto story, how character interactions would have been impacted, and how Naruto as a character would have changed. So without any further ado, let's just dive right in. If Minato would have allowed Kushina to reseal the Kyuubi inside of her, then he wouldn't have died. This would have brought about several changes to Naruto's story. Danzo would have used the Kyuubi attack and the loss of a Jinchuriki as grounds to challenge Minato's authority. However, I believe his plan would have failed. Minato would have revealed that he fought off the masked man who he believed to be Mamoru Uchiha, which is why he likely would not lose his title as Hokage. Even if this did happen, then Hiruzen would likely reassume the mantle of Hokage. Assuming that Minato stays Hokage, then there would have been even more suspicion directed at the Uchiha by the Leaf higher-ups. Meanwhile, it is very possible that Orochimaru and other resourceful shinobi would have learned that Madara attacked Konoha and word would have spread, thus making Obito's formation of Akatsuki a little harder. Meanwhile, Naruto's character would have been drastically different. Because there is no clear answer to how long it takes for a tailed beast to be reborn after his Jinchuriki dies, we can't say for certain when Naruto will be turned into a Jinchuriki. However, regardless of how long the time that period is, whether it be a few weeks or a few years, Naruto likely would have had the Kyuubi sealed inside of him at some point. Since Minato is alive, it is more likely that the chakra control issues that Naruto had that caused him to fail the academy exam twice would not have been there. Also, it is more likely that the villagers viewed Naruto as an annoyance rather than with hatred for a few reasons, with the main one being that Minato is his father. I believe it's possible that Minato would have kept Naruto's Jinchuriki status restricted only to his advisors because of how strongly Kushina objected to their son being turned into a Jinchuriki. While it's possible that the news of Naruto's status leaks, I'm not too sure if this happens. However, regardless of if it does happen or not, Naruto still would have been an even worse hyperactive, knuckle-headed ninja than he was in the main story, and the reason for this is if you look at Konohamaru or Boruto, Naruto would have acted out because Minato wouldn't have been there to give him the full attention that he needed. Another change would be Naruto's interactions with Sasuke. Given both are the reincarnates of Ashura and Indra, the two likely would have had a similar relationship, but Naruto would have been more closely matched with Sasuke due to being able to train with Minato. After the Uchiha massacre takes place, which very likely would have occurred due to Danzo's recruitment of Itachi to stop Fugaku's rebellion, Sasuke would have been even more annoyed with Naruto than before, since his rival still had his father who was alive. The likely scenario is that Sasuke would have trained even harder and graduated from the academy at the same time as Naruto. That brings us to the next major change. Team 7 as we know it would not exist. First, Naruto and Sasuke would not be on the same team. While Naruto still would have been an idiot, his test scores would not have been the lowest of the class more than likely, which is why Sasuke would not have been paired with them for the sake of balance. The likely outcome is that Naruto is placed on a team with Kakashi due to Minato being his former teacher, even though Sasuke would need someone to teach him how to show him how to use his Sharingan. Since all the previous teams assigned to Kakashi failed the Bell test and were sent back to the academy, it's very likely that Naruto's team fails. Despite Naruto being trained by Minato and likely a special Jonin teacher like Ebisu and Jiraiya, whenever he was in the village, Naruto would have been on a team with 2 people who did not understand the fundamentals of teamwork. Under this scenario, Naruto would end up being assigned to another Jonin once he passes the academy. Whichever Jonin is assigned to Naruto would have to be highly skilled, since Minato's enemies would be after Naruto since he is Minato's son. Kakashi wouldn't have a team of Genin to mentor and likely would continue taking on high-ranking missions. By the time the Land of Waves occurs, Naruto and Sasuke would have been Genin long enough to be preparing for the Chunin exams, which changes things drastically. Tazuna's Genin escorts would have been returning back to Konoha, and a team of Chunin or Jonin, very likely with Kakashi being a leader, would have escorted him, and Minato would have had to work out a payment plan to pay for those services. Kakashi's team would have defeated Zabuza and Haku more easily, since Kakashi wouldn't have had a team of inexperienced Genin to worry about protecting. Next, Orochimaru would have made his alliance with the Sand Village even sooner because Sasuke would have been entering the Chunin exam 6 months earlier. Just like in the main story, Guy would have forbidden his team from participating until the Chunin exams that takes place 6 months later. If Gar had already not achieved the rank of Genin, it's likely that he gets promoted to join Kankuro and Tamari as a team for the exams, which would have proceeded just as they did in the manga, which includes Orochimaru placing the curse seal on Sasuke. Due to Minato being a trainer and Jiraiya being a trainer, Naruto would have defeated Gar more easily, which would have further fueled Sasuke's hatred and Indra spirit. Where things get dicey is the battle with Orochimaru. I believe that Hiruzen still would have died because Minato would have needed to fight an Edo Tensei, Hashirama, and Tobirama. Because Minato would have had years to master using Sage Mode in battle, there's a chance that Minato could have won his fight and ended up sealing the other two Hokage. This leaves Hiruzen to fight Orochimaru while Minato is fighting, which means that he would have had to use the Reaper Death Seal in order to take away his jutsu at some point during the battle, given the fact that Minato would have been preoccupied. Itachi would still leave Kakashi and Sasuke in a comatose, which would have required the search for Tsunade, who would have resisted until Naruto eventually won her over. Since she wouldn't have had to take on the role of Hokage, Tsunade likely would have healed Sasuke and Kakashi and then returned back to gambling. Where the next big change occurs is the Kazekage rescue mission. With no Sakura, the team sent to save Gaara likely would have struggled. Without Kakashi being his master, Naruto stands an even greater chance of being captured, unless his current master is able to calm him down and possess the long-range jutsu to fight Deidara. Sasori likely kills whoever fights alongside Chiyo because Sakura wouldn't have made a cure for the poison. After Naruto's master uses the seal tag provided by Jiraiya, Gaara would have remained dead because Chiyo will be dead in this scenario. Due to lack of incentive by the other villages, there wouldn't have been a 5 Kage summit to address the Akatsuki since they wouldn't have captured as many tailed beasts as they did in the main story by the time Raikage called for a summit. No war on the Akatsuki will be declared by the Sand or the Leaf village because going to war exposes their villages to invasion by the other villages. Meanwhile, Akatsuki would move as they did originally, which means that Asuma still dies. Kakashi likely assists Team 10 in their battle with Hidan and Kakuzu. However, Naruto would have no real connection to Kakashi, and Leaf Elders wouldn't have allowed Minato to send Naruto to fight Akatsuki, given that Gaara recently died, which means that Team 10 and Kakashi would die in this scenario. Due to Kakuzu wanting to collect Asuma's bounty, he and Hidan would have continued on to Konoha, but not until collecting the bounty on Kakashi's body. Sometime afterwards, Obito would have taken his eye back from Kakashi's corpse. At some point, after not hearing from the teams, Minato would have either sent Anbu to investigate or used the Flying Thunder God to teleport to the kunai that Kakashi likely carried. Now knowing that the duo of immortals is coming to Konoha, Minato likely would have teleported back to the village to either prepare for the pending attack or to order a more aggressive hunt. At some point, Hidan and Kakuzu would have attacked the village because they're seeking Asuma's body. However, with Minato being the Hokage, the duo likely would have been stopped, though it wouldn't have been without heavy casualties. While this is all going on, Sasuke would have killed Orochimaru and Team Taka would have hunted down Akatsuki, seeking info on Itachi. Though the Leaf would have taken considerable losses, it's very likely that Naruto convinces his father to allow him to be on the team that searches for Itachi, hoping to bring Sasuke back to the village. Sasuke will go on to fight Deidara, who will be accompanied by Sasori, but the likely scenario is that Deidara still uses the C4 explosion where he commits suicide and takes out Deidara at the same time. Itachi would then entrust Naruto as Chisui's eye and die at the hands of Sasuke, who would then go on to learn the truth from Obito and be sent to capture Killer Bee. Meanwhile, just before setting off for a 5 Kage summit, Minato would allow Jiraiya to investigate Pain, where he would then go on to be killed. Since Akatsuki would have now captured the 1 through 7 tails and presumptuously captured Bee, killed Gaara and attacked 2 villages, the other 3 Kages would be more likely to meet Minato and the new Kage. Minato would then reveal his suspicion that Mamoru Uchiha attacked Konoha and is the one behind the Akatsuki, and that he sent Jiraiya to gather intel on Pain. For that reason, Minato would be made the leader of the Shinobi Alliance. Given everything that's going on, I don't believe that Obito would have sent Sasuke to the 5 Kage Summit because Nagato would still be alive and there would be no need to rush his development. After Obito declares war and the 5 Kage agree to hide B with Naruto, I believe another change would have taken place. If Naruto did not already know Sage Mode, I believe that Minato wouldn't have allowed him to learn it. Instead, he would have insisted that Naruto learn to master the Kyuubi while he was stationed with B. Naruto would have taken much longer to pass the Waterfall of Truth due to him still being an emotional wreck over Jiraiya's death. Naruto would then go on to master the Kyuubi, though it would be at a much later point during the war. Another change is that the Akatsuki would have been much stronger because Pain would have been able to participate in the war alongside Konan, the other Akatsuki members who are still alive, the Zetsu army, and Kabuto's Edo Tensei army. Also, since Sasuke wouldn't have fully tested his Mangekyo at the 5 Kage Summit, I believe that Sasuke would have participated in the war and likely would not have Itachi's eyes implanted because he has not tested his Sharingan yet. By the time Naruto enters the war, the Alliance would have taken heavy casualties. Also, with Kakashi being dead, Guy likely would have to fight the reanimated 7 ninja swordsmen, which makes it highly possible that he uses the 7th or potentially the 8th gate in order to defeat him. Also, since Danzo has not been named the interim Hokage, there stands a strong chance that Root is sent to the battlefield. Given that Danzo has kept his Sharingan arm a secret, it's very likely that he stays on it as an advisor so as to wait for his opportunity to seize control of the Hokage title or the Shinobi Alliance, or at least until someone like Ao exposes him. In addition to fighting the legendary reanimated shinobi, Naruto would have to fight the other Akatsuki members, but with them being in possession of the Kyuubi's full power and having mastered it, they would be defeated rather easily. However, it's very likely that Obito keeps Nagato's 6 paths of pain beside him since he cannot use the dead Jinchurikis as paths because Nagato is alive and still possesses Madara's Rinnegan. At some point, Naruto would meet Itachi, who would release himself from the Edo Tensei using Shisui's eye. Since Sasuke is fighting in the war, likely alongside Team Taka, he wouldn't have run into Itachi. Given Itachi felt confident enough to approach Kabuto alone, Itachi likely would have defeated Kabuto and released the Edo Tensei. This is where another few changes take place. Madara would have been revived via Edo Tensei and likely would have killed one or more of the Kage who challenged him, which under this scenario would include Danzo since he would have to reveal his possession of the Sharingan arm since the stakes are too high for him to remain on the sidelines. The likely candidates to be killed are going to be Minato and Danzo due to Minato not having half of the Kyuubi chakra and Madara having experience fighting the Flying Raijin Jutsu, and then Madara eventually overcoming Danzo's Izanagi. After Madara reverses the Edo Tensei, he very likely would proceed to kill the other Kages and then go on to join Obito and the other 6 paths who will be fighting Naruto and B. Since Sasuke would have come into contact with Naruto's clone, it's very likely if he hasn't been defeated that he joins the battle. At this point, it's very likely that Madara and Obito betrayed Nagato and forced him to revive Madara, then take back the Rinnegan. After Nagato is killed, a fully powered Obito and Madara likely would seal away the 8 Tails and 9 Tails. Since Sasuke and Obito would have been there, B wouldn't have been able to get away with using the 8 Tails sealing part of his chakra inside of him, which means in this scenario B dies. Due to Sasuke being alive and not having come into contact with the Hokages, Hagoromo likely would have given Naruto his power up and later on having given Sasuke his. If Guy hadn't gone 8 gates versus the 7 ninja swordsmen, he would have done so and died in battle against Madara. Madara would then go on to activate the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Given the large gap in power that exists, I don't believe that Sasuke would have turned on Madara. By the time Naruto is revived, Black Zetsu would have betrayed Madara, which means Kaguya would go on to kill Obito and Sasuke. Sasuke would then be given his power up by Hagoromo. However, with Kakashi and Obito both being dead and Sakura being trapped under the Infinite Tsukuyomi, the two would have failed to seal Kaguya. Very likely, Kaguya splits both of them up, with Sasuke being trapped in another dimension, but he does not have a way to return since Obito is dead. Naruto would then go on to be killed, and then Sasuke would die sometime soon afterwards. Well guys, that's it for my video. So as you can see, Minato being alive drastically would have changed the series, and not necessarily for the better. I know some of you guys might disagree with my findings, so I can't wait to hear your responses. Thanks for watching guys, have an awesome day.